Project Compassion is a very exciting annual campaign for us at Caritas Australia.
It's educative, it's an opportunity for reflection on our own lives.
It's the way in which we support one another, it's the way in which we learn from one another, it's the way in which we can be in solidarity with one another. The theme for Project Compassion this year is Food for Life.
It allows Australian schoolchildren, parishioners, Australians generally, to be able to respond to what we all recognise as being a great injustice in the world, and that is that there are millions of people who are struggling to survive.
They don't have that same sense of food security, whether it be because they're not sure how to grow crops, whether they don't have the money to purchase food, whether they actually don't have access to nutritious food. Lent for Catholics is a time of prayer, fasting and almsgiving.
It's a great way to be able to stop and say, what is life like for other people around the globe?
Over 6 weeks, you'll hear 6 wonderful and inspiring stories about people who experience issues with food and learn more about their lives and then have the opportunity to take some sort of action. In week 1, we meet Eric and Ma, a married couple who live in Fiji. The story is about growing food for life. Eric and Ma had an unprofitable farm and a limited diet before they participated in the course at the Tutu Rural Training Centre. 25 years later, they've built a successful farm, established an ongoing food source, raised and educated 6 healthy children, and now enjoy the benefits of Food for Life. In week 2, we meet young single mother Mariama, who's from West Africa. This story is about essential food for life. Mariama is raising her daughter as best she can in Nigeria, a country plagued by poverty and inequity. When 2.5-year-old Fatty, her daughter, becomes malnourished, Mariama takes her to the nutrition centre, supported by Caritas Australia, where she receives essential food that saves her life. In week 3, we travel to Australia, and the theme is choosing food for life. First Australians living in rural communities can't always afford to buy the most nutritious food for their families, and often they don't have access to affordable options. With limited life skills and education, Karen was struggling to make ends meet and provide her family with a healthy diet. The Centre Care Manage Your Income program has helped her to take control of her money and learn the skills to choose nutritious food that will ensure a healthier future for her family. In week 4, we travel to Nepal, and the theme of this story is sharing food for life. In Nepal, we meet mother of 3, Sarita. She was struggling to grow enough food for her family on her tiny farm plot, but she became involved in a program run by Caritas Nepal. That gave her and 11 others in her community the practical training and support they needed to start a fish raising business. After several years of hard work and dedication, Sarita and the group now have a thriving enterprise and a lifelong source of food and income. In week 5, we travel to Peru and meet Christian. Christian's 33, and with the help of Caritas Huacho, he and 14 other young farmers in his community village are working together to grow and harvest a wide variety of high-value sustainable crops. These crops are now providing the young farmers and their families with a secure source of income and a wide variety of food. Finally, in week 6, we travel to Indonesia, and the theme for this story is sustainable food for life. Until the last 5 years, the weather in Vincent's small village in West Timor had been quite stable. Now climate change is affecting weather and making harvests both unpredictable and unprofitable. With the help of Caritas, the farmers in Vincent's village have learned to terrace land, harness water and grow sustainable crops so they can have sustainable food for life and a secure future for their families, regardless of the changing weather.
Project Compassion is our opportunity to take an interest in their lives by the gift of ourselves, the gift of our prayer, the gift of our donations, the gift of our support.
Project Compassion is quite simply the lifeblood that enables us to deliver our community development and humanitarian programs.
By fundraising, we can put our hands in our pockets and think of those others who do not have what we have.
It's a wonderful thing in life to know that you have made a difference in someone else's life, and Project Compassion is a way that we can all do this.